See? Different vibe. Same thing. Yeah. Same shit anyway. Yep. Wonderful. Okay. Let's go. Here we go, brother. We back in business. There you go, man. There you go. All right. Yeah. Kind of have some trouble with the phones and the internet and stuff like that. So be patient and everybody's going to be all right. I hate Mike Barnett here. Stresses of the world, man. Uncle. All right, there you go, man. All right. Yeah, we was trying to, so we had some technical difficulties, so we kind of straightened that problem out. And first, we want to thank all the people who ordered from the site. The problem is, Amazon is sending our bottles on time, so we got them today. So just a little bit more patience, and all the packages will be sent out by the end of the week. Okay? So be patient. All right. Tonight we're going to talk about high blood pressure because I am a stroke survivor, and I am also a high blood pressure survivor too. I don't take no drugs, no more anyway. All right. And we were talking about things that you can do to prevent hypertension, and we're going to give you some information that the doctor don't teach you. You know what I'm saying? It's very important. A lot of people have high blood pressure, and we said before that when you have high blood pressure or hypertension, it can damage your kidney. Don't forget that. That's important, right? This little thing, see the thing right? Come here, Shanti. This little guy right here. See this guy right here? It saved a lot of people's lives who have high blood pressure and want to prevent strokes. Yeah? So come, Uncle, I think I gave Uncle a little thing a little while ago. Now, usually you can take it and put it right inside of the ear that corresponds to the brain. The carotid artery, right and left, one to the face, one to the brain. Yeah? So in order to prevent a stroke, you can always put these little magnets there in the ear, in the point, and every so often you can squeeze it if you have hypertension. Or if you get in a stroke, if you find you can't talk a little bit like I did, then you can use the little magnets in here, right over here, in the back of the ear right there. Yeah. Yeah, see right there? And you can squeeze that stuff right there, boom. And when you squeeze it right here, it kind of like dilate the blood vessels and the blood can flow to the brain. You don't get a stroke, you know what I mean? You don't get artery disease. So you can put one in this ear over here, and you can put one in that ear over here. And then every so often, every 2 hours, you can squeeze them together. When you squeeze them, you have the blood dilating properly. The blood moves a little bit. I don't clot. All right, this little guy right here, very effective. I walk with him and I give it to all my high blood pressure patients or people who had strokes, because I'm seeing about a few people who had strokes already. And we putting this thing in the air because you can get what we call a revolving stroke. Okay, all right. We have to hide that away. Understand? All right. Thank you, Uncle. Appreciate that.
You're welcome.
All right. Now, let's go fast because we're kind of late. You want to start to look. You know, Chantal go home and organize the stuff, you know, right over here. All right. We're going to talk about the heart because once you have high blood pressure, it's telling me that you have trouble in your heart anyway. That's it. Once you have hypertension, you have trouble in your heart. Something's wrong with your heart. So let's look at what the heart does. The heart is one of the most alkaline organ in the body. Alkaline. It is controlled by what they call the vagus nerve. And the vagus nerve it works by inhibiting the release of what we call it deals with internal organs. With the vagus nerve, it deals with coughing, vomiting, swallowing, but it also controls the heart and the other organs, right? Wonderful. Now, over here, I don't want to go too fast. 16, 17. Wonderful. So that's the vagus nerve. So the vagus nerve controls, heart, internal organs, deal with the respiratory system also, but it also helps in terms of swallowing, vomiting. You know what I mean? And that's the vagus nerve. So the heart is one of the most alkaline organ in the body. It is controlled by the vagus nerve. As I said before, the vagus nerve controls also the internal organs too, which function more effectively in an alkaline environment. It's going to be in the book. We're going to come into the book. The book going to tell you all about the heart. Because I have a nephew who is a cardiologist. Our heart pumps about 515 quarts of blood every hour. And that's about 1,960 to 2,000 gallons of blood every day. So the heart does. Acid. I'm going to use acid because we just said before, the heart is one of the most alkaline organ in the body. Alkaline, not acidic now. Acidic waste can alter. So the acid waste that we produce from eating the wrong foods can alter the proper rheumatic heartbeat. These toxic substances decreases vital oxygen to the cells and tissues by what? By neutralizing electro properties of blood cells, robbing the cells of proper oxygenation. And we know for a fact that your heart needs oxygen. Wonderful. When that happens, when your heart is being robbed from oxygen and cell promotion, what happens? Don't you hear, son? A degeneration of your heart tissue can follow. I want you to read this last part so people could understand. Right here. Your heartbeat, 500, produces 515 quarts of blood every hour. About 1,960 gallons of blood per day, every day. Acid waste can alter the proper rheumatic function of the heart, have the heartbeat. These toxic substances decreases vital oxygen to the cells and tissues by what? By neutralizing electro properties of blood cells, robbing the cells of proper oxygenation and in turn robbing your heart. When that happens, you have what we call degeneration of the heart tissue can follow. When you have that following, here we go. Next one. We go too fast. We're going to go fast tonight. We can put it up on the board. 4. What is high blood pressure? High blood pressure is a condition where the force of the blood against the wall of the arteries is too high. High blood pressure is a condition where the force of the blood against the walls of the arteries is too high. That's what I had. High blood pressure. So I had a stroke from that because my pressure was too high. Right? That's just what high blood pressure is. Number 6. 5. Pressure reading. Now, when you go to a doctor, he's going to take your pressure, and when you're off 140 over 90, that's mild to moderate hypertension. You don't need a drug for that. If you're 150 over 90 or 150 over 100, you're also mild to moderate hypertension. You don't need a drug for that either. Now, when we get older, once you pass the age of 50, this number here, the systolic number can rise to 140. That's natural for some people. Some people, again, in the 70s and in the 80s, their systolic number can get to 150 also. And that's normal for them because the older we get, the higher the systolic number goes. See? But the 90 and the 100 is still moderate to mild hypertension. They should never put you on drugs for that. Your pulse beat, 60 to 70 beats per minute. If your pulse beat is going over 90 plus, it's telling me that something is wrong with your thyroid gland. So you could have troubles in your heart or have high blood pressure from thyroid function, bad thyroid function, underactive thyroid, or even overactive thyroid too. Severe hypertension is 180 systolic over 120 diastolic. Now that is severe hypertension, and that is when your doctor should put you on drug because my pressure was 200 over 115. So I had a stroke. See? So when you're severe like that, then your doctor's supposed to put you on a drug and then try to wean you off long term if he knows about nutrition. All right? So that's what the pressure level is supposed to be. All right? We're going to go a little fast because we're kind of late. What does high blood pressure do? When you have high blood pressure, it strains your heart. It puts a strain on your heart muscle. And that's why I say to people, when you have anyone who have hypertension, have troubles in their heart. Bottom line. So what does high blood pressure do? It puts a strain on your heart. It causes you, the patient or the client, to have congestive heart failure. And what is congestive heart failure? Congestive heart failure is when the heart cannot pump the blood as it should, causing blood to build up in your heart muscle an excessive amount of water and toxins. That's what they call congestive heart failure in the medical system. Congestive heart failure is when your heart or my heart cannot pump blood as it should, causing blood to build up in our heart. and so the heart become congested with blood, can't move, it's weak, can't move the blood out. And then all of a sudden you get short breath. And then what happens to you after that? You get angina too. When you have congestive heart failure, causing the blood to build up in your heart muscle, narrowing of the arteries or high blood pressure can cause also congestive heart failure. So once you have congestive heart failure, you could get narrowing of the arteries, and when they're blocked up, you could have troubles with high blood pressure or congestive heart failure also. Congestive heart failure can also cause what? Angina. This right here. So if your heart is congested, it's telling me that the heart is weak, number one. It's telling me that you have trouble in the narrowing of the arteries, and once you have congestive heart failure, you can get angina. Angina means what? Chest pain caused by reduced blood flow to your heart. Because the heart is what? The heart is congested. Congestive heart failure. So congestive heart failure can lead to what? Angina. And short breath. And lung troubles too. You see? So we know for a fact that when you have congestive heart failure, when you have swelling of the feet, or you have blood can't move because the heart is so weak, you get angina. And angina is what? Chest pain caused by reduced blood flow to the heart. Now, when you have angina, angina can be a symptom of coronary artery disease. Your doctor will tell you the same thing I'm telling you now. Once you get angina, pain in your chest, your doctor will say to you, yo, Patrick, it looks as though you have coronary artery disease. And once you have that, you're going to get congestive heart failure. And once you have congestive heart failure, you're going to get angina. See? So, the doctor give you a pill or a spray, and you put it under your tongue, and it dilates the blood vessels so that the pain in your chest goes away. But that don't fix it, because it come back eventually. Because you still have a weak heart, because your heart is congested. See? So once you have congestive heart failure, you are going to get angina. All right? And if you have angina, it's telling me that you can get congestive heart failure. Or if you have angina, it's telling me that something is wrong with your heart muscle. Or in the artery, it's clogged up. And 750,000 people a year die from heart disease. Go again. Next one. Wonderful. What is atherosclerosis? They call it hardening of the arteries. Lots of people in America have that. Eating the wrong foods, eating in the nighttime fried foods on a regular basis. Once you pass the age of 25 or 30, leave fried foods alone. They're no good for your heart no more, especially if you have hypertension. Yeah? So atherosclerosis can cause angina, and angina could come from congestive heart failure, and congestive heart failure can cause angina, and congestive heart failure could be coming from what? Atherosclerosis. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? So congestive heart failure can cause angina, and congestive heart failure can cause atherosclerosis, and atherosclerosis can cause angina, and atherosclerosis can cause congestive heart failure. Dig it. You see? Now, what is atherosclerosis? That is when fats or cholesterol, we can talk about that in a while, and other substances build up in the walls of your arteries, causing plaque to form in the walls and cause you to have this condition, which can lead to congestive heart failure, which can lead to angina. You follow? Which can lead to high blood pressure, which can lead to a heart attack or a stroke. Huh? Now, dehydration can cause high blood pressure. Dehydration can cause high blood pressure. Why? When you are dehydrated and you're not drinking lots of liquids or water during the day, you become dehydrated. Once you become dehydrated, your heart can never pump the blood through the vessel walls properly. So what happens to you? The blood becomes so thick because there's not enough liquid in the system, and you get hypertension from that too. So if you don't drink lots of water and you are prone and you become dehydrated, you can also come down with high blood pressure. So high blood pressure can come from dehydration, because now the heart, it has to pump the blood, but it can't pump it well, so the blood clots faster. You get hypertension from that. So dehydration is one of the causes of hypertension too. Let's go ahead. Let's go over here. So we know that atherosclerosis is when fat or cholesterol or other substances build up in the walls of the arteries, causing plaque to form in the wall and causing you to have angina or congestive heart failure or high blood pressure or bypass surgery long term. And that's the reason why I said a while ago that 750,000 Americans die every year from heart disease. It's the #1 killer of Americans. And it's coming to the Caribbean countries too. Because they're importing all the foods that they have over here, over there. They don't grow what they eat no more. All right, wonderful. Let's look at heart enzymes. When you go to a doctor, do your doctor take your heart enzymes? Do your doctor look at your LDH, CK, and troponin? Does he look for those? Tell you what they are now. Let's look at the first one called CK, creatine kinase. When you have a high CK in the blood, that means that you have muscle injury, and because your heart is a muscle, because the CK deals with what we call muscle skeletal system. So once you have a high CK, it means that you have what we call muscle injury or inflammation of the heart or the muscles, and you can get what we call muscular or muscle dystrophy. Dig that, from CK being high, because it is what we call a muscle and musculoskeletal enzyme in the heart muscle also. So once this CK goes high, your doctor will tell you that you are getting muscle injury of the heart and causing inflammation of the heart muscle, which can cause you to have an enlarged heart. You see? Or it could cause muscle dystrophy. First one is CK. Look them up for me. Ask your doctor about those enzymes. What is the LDH? When you have a high LDH, it's telling your doctor that you have tissue damage of the heart muscle. So once your LDH is high and you have high blood pressure, and your pressure is so high on a regular basis, it starts damaging the tissues, and all of a sudden your LDH become high, and now you start damaging all the tissues of your heart muscle, and you start to have troubles in the heart. You get what we call a heart attack long term. What is troponin? Troponin, big name. Answer, what? Heart attack. When that's high, this one right here. If he's high, your doctor will tell you that you had a heart attack or a worm attack. The worm damaged your heart muscle. And all of a sudden, if the troponin is high after 2 weeks, or it could be high after 2 weeks after having a heart attack, a silent heart attack that is, your doctor will look to bring it down by doing what? By giving you drugs. You can tell you what they are. So once you have a high LDH, you have tissue damage. Once you have a high troponin, it means that you had a heart attack. So if you go to your doctor, and the doctor check your troponin, and it's high, he will tell you, Mr. Delge, you had a heart attack last night or 2 weeks ago. And that's why they are important, because they can check for those things. Wonderful. So these are your heart enzymes. You have to take care of them. You have to keep them at a normal level. I think this one is going to 250. This one goes to, I think, 200 also, 125, 145. If they go to 600, it's telling you that you had a heart attack. This go high, your tissue is damaged. If the CK goes high, it means you have high inflammation of the heart muscle or damage to the muscle of the heart. Dig that. Wonderful. Troponin, don't forget the name. Troponin. Homocysteine. Woo! Lots of doctors do not check people who have heart disease or hypertension for homocysteine levels. Remember that homocysteine is an amino acid, and homocysteine gets high in the body if you cannot metabolize protein well and convert protein into methionine, which converts it into homocysteine. If there's no B6 in your diet, if there's no folic acid in your diet, if there's no B12 in your diet, your homocysteine is going to go high because you need B6 and folic acid to keep homocysteine at its level in the body. Once your homocysteine goes high, because of lacking of these vitamins, your heart starts to crumble on you. You get heart disease because now the homocysteine level is so high, because all this protein metabolism can convert into methionine, and methionine can convert into homocysteine. All of a sudden, on B6, to normalize the homocysteine levels, your homocysteine get high, and you get heart disease. And your doctor is trying to figure out why you have or get heart disease at a young age, not knowing that you are deficient in B6, folic acid, and the B12 vitamin. Wonderful. So, can homocysteine be harmful? Yes, it can be. Answer, why or how? By causing blood clots in the arteries. So once you have a high homocysteine level, it can, and you don't have enough B6 and B12 and folate acid in your system, you can cause blood clots in your arteries. And those blood clots could go to your lung, cause you to have an embolism, or when you have afibrillation. There are herbs you can use for AFib. Garlic, ginger, cayenne pepper, horton, good for AFib. Afibrillation. Stops it right away. You don't get a clot in your lung. You don't get embolism. So, can homocysteine be harmful? Yes. How, Mr. Dells? By causing blood clots in the arteries. And how do we lower homocysteine levels? By B12, by giving you B6, and by giving you folic acid for cell division in the heart muscle. Dig it. Next one. Cholesterol. Oh, we can talk about that one now. Because that's the one that keep on fooling you always. This one right here. See this here? Cholesterol. Huh. Watch me. Cholesterol is found in your brain, more in your brain than any place else in the body. Cholesterol is found right up here in the brain. And cholesterol is produced by the liver too. So, lots of people come in here with high cholesterol of 250, 280. And I said to them, you don't need nothing for cholesterol. Oh, you crazy, Mr. Dr. C, you must take things for cholesterol. That's not true. That's false information. Because you need cholesterol in your brain. You need cholesterol for your joints. You need cholesterol for your hormones. It is important. So, let's look at cholesterol now. Overall cholesterol goes from 140 to 200. When you pass 210 to 210, 220, they want to put you in a drug. Don't take the drug. You understand? Because cholesterol only harm you when it oxidizes. Cholesterol only harm you when it oxidizes. Doubt me. When you cut an apple, the apple turns brown, right, Shante? If you cut an apple out now, and you put an apple outside for a half an hour, that apple will turn brown. That is what we call oxidation. Now, if you have high cholesterol, let's say you have a high cholesterol of, say, 230. That's high in the medical system. Not high to me, because you need cholesterol for your joints and for your hormones. So, if you have a high cholesterol level and it oxidizes, it can affect your heart and give you what you call atherosclerosis, hardening of the arteries. That's only if it oxidizes. How do cholesterol oxidize? By you, the person, eating lots of fried foods and greasy foods and the wrong foods that cause your cholesterol to oxidize. But if you have a high level of cholesterol, 230, 250, and you're eating greens, you're eating nuts and seeds and okras and plantain, can never ever oxidize, because it only oxidizes. Cholesterol only oxidize when you eat the wrong foods. So don't run and take these statin drugs because you know better. Because these same statin drugs damages your liver long term. Number 2, your liver produces cholesterol 24/7. The liver is smart. The liver knows when you have to stop or when cholesterol should be balanced. That's the purpose of your liver. So when you eat a fattening meal, and the fats come back from the intestines, your liver supposed to produce bile salts to turn the fats into droplets. If you're a doctor, you're watching, you know I'm not lying. If you're a nurse, you know I'm speaking the truth. So your liver produces bile salts to turn the fats into droplets. While the fats are being turned into droplets, your fats is going to the gallbladder. And your gallbladder have to emulsify this fat to send it two places. One to the villi, and one to the vein, back to the portal vessel. If that cholesterol or the fat go to the wrong place, you get a lipoma. Number one. Number two, if the liver is not working properly, and your liver have to break down that, produce that bile salts, and he can't do that, he will leave that fat, and you can never ever emulsify the fat in your gallbladder. You get gallstones because you have what toxic bile, and the toxic bile moves into the gallbladder and form all these calcium with all these minerals and all these fats, and it can't get through your bile duct, and your gallbladder become congested. You get sludge in there, and you get gallbladder stones. That's what it is. Yeah. That's what it is, right? So we know that cholesterol is not a bad thing. And cholesterol only harm you when it's oxidized. So if you know you have high cholesterol, you don't have to pop a pill for that. You can go and use the good foods, and fix your cholesterol. Number three, when your body is in an acid terrain, your liver produces excessive amount of cholesterol. Why, Patrick does? Because your liver is so wise that once the liver sees too much acid get into the bloodstream, your liver starts producing a lot of cholesterol. Why, Patrick? Because the cholesterol has to prevent the acid from boring into your arteries. It protects you. While your cholesterol is going to protect your arteries from the acid in your system, coming to harm you now, your body is also pulling out calcium from the bones to buffer. You understand? That's good, but you start to get shaking of the teeth long term. Cholesterol is good. Don't drop it too low because you're going to get trouble in your joint and your brain too long term. Alzheimer's. Right here. Now, so let's say for a fact that cholesterol goes from what? From 140 to 200. 210, they give you drugs. Don't take the drugs now. Stop eating fat and the greasy foods. HDL, 30 to 65. What is HDL? HDL is called high density lipoprotein. Is HDL a cholesterol, Ashanti? No, it's not. They call it a so-called good cholesterol. It's not a cholesterol. It is what we call a protein that carries cholesterol from the arteries to your liver. Wait away. So HDL is 30-65 for men, and I believe 30-70 for women. LDL, low density lipoprotein, 30 to 130 to 140. Some labs give you different numbers now. Follow me now. LDL is not a cholesterol. LDL is a protein that carries cholesterol, but it carries it to the arteries. HDL carries it from the arteries to your liver. Yeah? But it's not a cholesterol. It is a protein that carries cholesterol, but they make you feel it is a cholesterol. It's not a cholesterol. See what I'm saying? So if you have a high HDL, which is a so-called good cholesterol, and you have a high cholesterol level, you still have protection. Doctors, can you do that? Nurses, can you do that? No, you can't. Factual. Because the HDL is high. Yeah? Then you have what? VLDL. Very low density lipoprotein. Women 0 to 20, men 0 to 17, I believe. Or women 0 to 17 and men 0 to 20. That's the numbers for us. Very low density lipoprotein. Not a cholesterol either. Triglycerides. 30 to 150. They say again, high triglycerides. Oh, that's problematic. But they don't tell you that our body turn carbohydrates into triglycerides. Your body turn carbohydrates into triglycerides according to your what they call the calories, I believe. But if you can burn your calories up properly, your carbohydrates can never huh, cause your triglycerides to go high. Because your carbs, your carbohydrates, what? Look at over here. Your carbohydrates, our body turn carbohydrates into triglycerides. Only if we burn it up well, it don't go high. If we don't burn the carbs properly, and there's lots of what we call, this is where I go, calories, your triglycerides gonna go high because our body turn carbohydrates into triglycerides. Am I right, brother? There you go. So, cholesterol is not bad. Cholesterol only harms you when you, the individual, eat a lot of wrong foods, fries and grease every day. It will harm you, but it is found in your brain. It is found in your joints. You need it for cushioning your joints. You need cholesterol for your hormones. So once you drop it for too much, you're in trouble. You understand? But you have to keep your liver healthy. And once you keep the body in an alkaline terrain, your liver in turn will produce the normal amount of cholesterol that you need for you every day. Bottom line, that's factual. And that's the reason why you get troubles in your heart. That's the reason why you're getting high blood pressure. You understand? Because all the fat you eat, your cholesterol high, you take a set of drugs, and all the drugs you keep on taking must go to your kidney for filterization. All the drugs you're taking must go to your liver for filterization. All the big beef you're eating every day must turn into ammonia. So how are you going to fix cholesterol? When you have your liver working so hard, and your liver have to leave 1 or 2 or 3 of the job it's supposed to do for you and I to go and compensate. And what you're doing is bad. Come on. Your cholesterol is going to go high. So your liver will leave your cholesterol to compensate for something else that you're doing that's bad to the liver. And automatically, your cholesterol go high. And he put you on a drug because he ain't no better. Dig it? Wonderful. Facts. We're talking facts now. Facts. While high blood pressure strains the heart of individuals. Facts. If you're a nurse, tell me I'm lying. If you're a doctor looking at my program, tell me if I'm lying. Facts. While high blood pressure strains the heart, left ventricular hypertrophy can occur in up to 20% of the people who have hypertension. Know that. Hypertrophy is what? Inflammation of the heart muscle. The heart becoming large. Huh? Read it again for me, son. Facts. FACTS. High blood pressure strains our heart muscle. High blood pressure does that. When that happens, you can get what we call left ventricular hypertrophy. And the left ventricular hypertrophy can occur in up to 20% of the people who are suffering from high blood pressure or hypertension. And my nephew, Dr. Daigo Humphrey, told me that lots of our people have left ventricle weakness than right ventricle weakness. He's the cardiologist. He told me, if you're watching my brother, he told me, uncle, the left ventricle give you more troubles or weaker than the right ventricle. You understand? So when you have high blood pressure, it weakens your heart muscle. And it also causes you to have what we call, look at them here, ventricular hypertrophy, enlarging of the heart muscle. And that condition can occur in up to 20% of people who is suffering from high blood pressure. It damages your walls, damages your heart muscle, and after your heart dead, you get a heart attack, or you get a stroke. You get a stroke. That's what I had. I didn't know better, so I had a stroke. Patrick died of a stroke at 32 years old. Me, my mother, who suffered from high blood pressure for 45 or 50 years, was on a pill till I went back to Grenada and removed her of the pill. But her eating habit did not change. We was trying to make her eating habit change. She didn't change it all the way. She got another stroke. And when I was there, come on, uncle. When I was there in Grenada, my family members could tell you, I put that stuff right on a prick of air and a bleed of air, and the first stroke went away. The second stroke she had was not in Grenada. She died. She became crippled. Thank you, Sansa. You understand? You know, because I, Patrick Dells, was eating the same way my mother been eating for all these years from infancy. I got high blood pressure also. I didn't know better. And I had a stroke. And they told me, if you don't take them drugs forever and ever, amen, you're going to have a revolving stroke. You're going to die. Just like they tell the cancer patients, if you don't take the chemotherapy and you go holistic, you're going to die. The chemotherapy is going to keep you alive for a couple of years, longer. You're going to still die anyway. They told me I was going to die. You understand? I ain't died yet. And there's 3 doctors who told me I was going to die. One died from a heart attack, one died from a stroke, and one died from cancer. Dig it. I'm still living, ain't it? Wonderful. So, facts. While high blood pressure strains the heart, left ventricular hypertrophy can occur in up to 20% of people who is suffering from high blood pressure. And that's why you all can fix it. Because you all never taught how to repair your hypertension properly. You know what I mean? You all don't give your heart a rest. Yeah? Hypertension can also increase nephrons pressure in the kidney. High blood pressure can also increase nephron pressure in your kidney. That filters your blood. Eh? And that's the reason why I said before. We said before that the kidney controls the heart and the heart controls the kidney. You have the heart muscle pumping the blood through the vessel walls. And in order for the kidney to remove the excessive amount of water, the kidney needs blood from the heart. And when the nephrons are damaged, because of hypertension, your pressure being so high, you lose your kidney, you go on dialysis. And that's why we have lots of diabetics who damage their kidney long term, and lots of people who have high blood pressure, damage the kidney long term, end up on dialysis. You understand? Because you damage the nephrons of the kidney, because the pressure is too high. Eh? Then you have the inferior vena cava, superior vena cava. You have the kidney pumping the blood through the vessel walls. You have the heart. You have the kidney regulating your water balance. And your kidney must remove excessive amount of waste through urine. But only 3/4 of urine is eliminated through the kidney. Mostly all the water is recirculating back into the body. And the water end up in your liver and in your muscles. And that's the reason why I said before that your liver and your kidney is brothers and sisters. They need each other. We can show you how. Wonderful. Facts. High blood pressure strains the heart. Causing left ventricular hypertrophy, which can occur in up to 20% of men and women who is suffering from high blood pressure or hypertension. You damage your arteries long term. You understand? Make the heart work bad, and then you match your kidney up. And then hypertension can also increase nephron pressure in the kidney. Follow me now. Our kidney can excrete amino acid, but proteins are too large. Chains of amino acid now, but your proteins are too large. When your blood pressure is too high, proteins become stagnated or can push through, damaging the nephrons and in turn damaging your kidney. And you go on what? Dialysis. So we say that the kidney controls the heart and the heart controls the kidney. The kidney is water, the heart is fire. What out fire? Water. So the kidney controls the heart and the heart controls the kidney. And that's the reason why you can get high blood pressure from your kidney too. Your kidney can be working so messed up, not in balance, it could cause you, the individual, to get high blood pressure. Take it. Facts again. Hypertension or high blood pressure can also increase nephron pressure in the kidney. Our kidney can excrete amino acid, but proteins are too large to be excreted, and that's why when a doctor take a urine analysis in your kidney in the urine, he sees you have excessive amount of protein in your body. He tell you have kidney damage. right? But proteins are too large. When pressure is too high, or your high blood pressure is too high, your protein becomes stagnated or can push through, damaging the nephrons and in turn damaging your kidney, causing you to go on dialysis or causing you to have swelling of your feet, swelling of your face, or swelling of your hands. Dig that. Wonderful. When the nephrons pressure in the kidney in the kidney is low, the kidney releases a hormone called what? Tell me what it is, nurses. If you're a nurse, when the nephrons are low in the kidney, what does the kidney release? Nurses, if you are telling me what the kidney releases. When your nephrons are low in your kidney releases a substance, a hormone. Nurses, you're supposed to know that too. So once you have low nephrons in the kidney, your kidney starts to produce what? Ashanti? Renin. To what? To normalize your blood pressure. That's factual. Those are facts. Right. So, when the nephrons pressure in the kidney is low, the kidney releases the hormone called renin. Renin acts as a angiotensin. You know what angiotensin is? We call them ACE inhibitors. When they give you what they call you, they give you Zestril, Linisopril, same drug. All the pills are ACE inhibitors. That's what they do. So, when the nephron pressure in the kidney is low, the kidney releases a hormone called renin to normalize your pressure back. Renin acts as a what? Angiotensin to what? To raise the nephron's pressure and also blood pressure at the same time. That's how the body works together. It's smart. Naturally. When the nephron pressure in your kidney is low, your kidney have to release the hormone called renin, and renin act as a angiotensin to raise the nephron's pressure and also raising your blood pressure at the same time. Nurses, am I correct? Doctors, am I correct on my line? That's factual. Dig it? And that's the reason why they give you ACE inhibitors. Yeah? Wonderful. Last one. Angiotensin constricts blood vessels by inhibiting the release of the same angiotensin, and when it releases that, your blood vessel relaxes, and that's what they give you ACE inhibitors for. Am I lying, nurses? Am I lying, doctors? No. Come here. So they give you ACE inhibitors, and they give you beta blockers, like Novax and Atenolol, and they give you calcium channel blockers. I used to take Atenolol, and I was on calcium channel blockers. Nifedipine. You know, they all Novax, they all calcium channel blockers. Atenolol is a Novax. I think is a calcium channel blocker or ACE inhibitor, or a beta blocker. But the beta blockers, they make us men become impotent. And the beta blockers, like the Atenolol, gives you high cholesterol long term. That's what they do. And because lots of men don't like taking these drugs because they become impotent, because the beta blockers slow up the heartbeat. You know, make the heartbeat slower than normal. And then when that happens, because you have angina, they slow it up. When they slow it up, they slow up the blood going to your penis. So your penis can get hard. And the woman suffers. And that's the reason why lots of men who are taking beta blockers don't want to take the drug, because they can't function. They have ED. Plus, the beta blockers raise your cholesterol levels because the heart don't beat as it's supposed to beat. Side effect. You can never ever come off the beta blockers like that. You have to wean yourself off. Because if you only try to come off the beta blockers, boom, your heart will palpitate. They know that for a fact too. That's one. This one over here, calcium channel blockers. Calcium channel blocker cause what we call heart failure. Let them know that. Am I lying, brother? Calcium channel blockers, like nifedipine, they cause heart failure. They cause your heart to fail long term. They cause you to have bypass surgery long term. They cause you to have a heart attack long term. The calcium, let them know that. The calcium channel blockers cause all these side effects. Why? Because they block calcium. They don't move it. You're supposed to move calcium, not block it. Yeah, although they relax the blood vessels, but they send the calcium where it's not supposed to go. And once calcium cannot go where it's supposed to go, it's going to end up in your soft tissues. And once it ends up there, long term, when you get older, in the 70s and the 80s, they got to cut your chest open because calcium plaque is in your walls. Eh? But magnesium is a natural calcium mover. He moves calcium. Look at him right here. See him here? Find him. Because 80% of Americans is deficient in this mineral. It is a muscle relaxer. It is a nerve relaxer, and the heart is a muscle. 80% of Americans is deficient in magnesium. It is found in your heart muscle. It relaxes the heart muscle. It helps the diastolic number to stay normal. This mineral right here. But you're lacking in that. And that's the reason why you can't fix high blood pressure also. You're lacking in magnesium. You're lacking in folic acid. You're lacking in selenium. You're lacking in those. Because selenium is what we call a natural free radical scavenger. It scavenges free radicals from the heart muscle. You must take those. See? What the heck? See that here, son? Come, son. Lots of people who have high blood pressure have weak arteries. They messed up, they're weak. The blood can't, because the heart is have to pump the blood so fast or so hard that it weakens your arteries. It weakens your arterial walls. You understand? Once it weakens your arterial walls, right there, and the blood can't flow, it pops eventually. You get aneurysm. Dig it. Because your arteries are weak. But Jehovah God put plants on this earth for weak arteries too. No, uncle. Right here. See? Look at right here. Wait a second. See this here? See the herb here? What do you mark here, son? Colinzonia. Look at me here. See what he does? When he go into your body, he strengthens the arteries. He make it strong. He make it can't collapse. We call it vascular integrity. So when you take Colinzonia, it go in and it make the artery so strong that the blood can flow. Eh? And it can't pop. They're there for that. So when you have high blood pressure, you have to know where your pressure is coming from. Let's look at it. Your pressure can come from your kidney. Your pressure could come from your gallbladder. Your high blood pressure could come from your liver. Your high blood pressure can come from your colon. Your high blood pressure could come from your thyroid gland. And your high blood pressure can come from your lung. Dig that, eh? Your high blood pressure can come from the endocrine system. Huh? And your high blood pressure could come from what? Heavy metals. Like mercury in your mouth. Mercury in your mouth. Mercury in your mouth from all the times can cause you to have troubles in your heart. Painters who paint cars and have all these chemicals from the paint getting into the system can get high blood pressure too. And you all have the high blood pressure, don't even know where it's coming from. You all take a pill for 40 years and don't know that the chemical that you was using to spray your cars, to paint your house, was damaging your heart muscle. You see what I'm saying? So there's not only one cause of high blood pressure. There are many causes. And you have to find out where the cause is coming from. So when you find out where the cause is coming from, you will repair your high blood pressure like what I did. And that's why I repaired mine. Because I found out and I put myself on a program for 9 months. And I weaned myself off these drugs. You understand? And today, God is my witness. I don't take none of them. I don't pop not one drug, not even for a headache. Because I know for a fact, once I pop a drug, I'm going to take them eventually, if I have to take them. But if I don't, I try to eat the right foods. But if I keep my body well, and keep my organs well, and keep my organ filtering the blood properly, I don't need no drugs. My heart will stay well, because my heart depends on my digestive system. See what I'm saying? So I came off all of them. And I wean people off of them too, day by day. So, we are going to put a program together for people who have hypertension, like we did for people who have diabetes. And you are going to be amazed that the amount of people who are on the diabetic program are telling us in 3 days the sugar was 400 and 500, went to 150 and coming down. Why? Because we restrict the diet. We look at the sugars. We look at the alkaline terrain of the pancreas. Now we have to look at the alkaline terrain of the heart muscle, because that's where it functions. It functions in an alkaline terrain with the vagus nerve. See? And once you can find the cause of your pressure, you can strengthen your vessels, the arterial walls, to help the heart to pump the blood through the vessel walls properly and keep the vessels strong. And you will fix your hypertension. You can repair it, like I did mine and other people. Dig it? So we are putting a program together for anyone who wants to go on a program for high blood pressure. If you have severe hypertension, please talk to your doctor, your cardiologist. If you have heart disease, if you have congestive heart failure, if you have cardiomyopathy, if you have afibrillation, talk to your cardiologist. You understand? If you can't find a cardiologist, you can talk to me. I will talk to my nephew who is a cardiologist, and we can work together because he's open-minded. You understand? But if you have these conditions, make sure that you talk to your cardiologist before you start to go on a program. If he's open-minded, he can guide you a little bit while we are giving you things to use, and you can check your pressure every day. When you're on a program, you must check twice per day. First thing in the morning, last thing at night. You have to log it down on a piece of paper. So, let's look at some numbers. If your pressure reads 150 over 90, and you're on a program, and the pressure read after a week, it says 130 over 85. 1 week. You see that after the second week, you're saying 130 over 80. The third week, you're saying 125 over 85. Now, you are looking, because you're looking for the original number. You not go back up here. Now, once you see that you're not going back up here to 150, you know for a fact that your heart is responding to what you are doing. That's why it's important to check your pressure levels. Yeah? So if you start at 150 over 90, which is mild to moderate hypertension, and after a week of checking, twice per day, it will fluctuate. It will go up and like a yo-yo, go up and down all the time. But eventually, once your heart muscle and your digestive system is getting used to what you're doing and everything is balanced again, you're going to see the numbers go to what? 110 over 80 or 110 over 70. Give that. But you have to have discipline. If you don't have no discipline, you can't fix nothing. Period. You have to have discipline like I did. I don't go back. So my pressure reads 110 over 70, 110 over 80, 100 over 70. You understand? You know what I mean? So you have to follow these programs. Once you follow these programs, you would get better. All right? So we are putting a program together for only people who have hypertension and some form of heart troubles, not heart failure. If you have or you're suffering from heart failure, stay with your cardiologist. You understand? If you're taking digoxin or linoxin, stay with your cardiologist. And if you want to go on the herbs, you could go slowly, because now we must do what? Watch me now. We must tonify the heart muscle. We must tonify the heart muscle. Because why, Patrick Dells? Because the heart muscle is weak. So we must tonify the heart muscle. We can never ever go and stimulate your heart muscle if you have heart weakness or if you have high blood pressure. We must tonify the heart muscle first. And once we can tonify the heart muscle, if the heart is weak, then automatically we can use plants to come in now, and automatically when the heart is strong, we can stimulate the heart muscle to pump the blood to the vessel walls while we are strengthening the veins, the arteries, and the capillaries. My brother? That's all it is all about, man. It takes time. Because Rome wasn't built in a day, and you were not born with high blood pressure. You acquired high blood pressure from the way you eat. You left the Caribbean countries, you come to America, and you incorporate the American diet, eating American foods, eating at night, going to sleep with food in your belly. Huh? For 30 years, you're eating the same foods, not cleaning your system up, not giving your heart a break, not giving your liver a break. Huh? And you have what we call a genetic predisposition of getting high blood pressure. You're going to get it. Because my mommy had it and my father had it, so I must have it too. That's not true. You understand? You can deter. You can change. Because when you were eating in the Caribbean countries in the 70s and the 80s, you didn't have a hypertension though. But you come in America, you eat at 8 o'clock in the night time. You eat at 9 o'clock in the night. You eat at 10 o'clock in the night. You eat at 11 o'clock and go to bed at 12 o'clock with a big plate of steak and oxtail. You know what I mean? And fried foods. And you expect your heart to function. Can't function that way. And that's why we are teaching people how to use the foods. That's why we have a group called Come Chat with Patrick Dells. And we put you on programs. And you see the programs, you do the program, you see result, because now you are getting the discipline of the mind. The mind is a powerful thing, you know? Huh? So, let's look over here. Almost finished. Mother's word. Wonderful herb for the heart. It calms the heart muscle. It acts as what we call nifedipine, or Novak, sorry. You know what I mean? Yeah, or you call atenolol. It slows up the heartbeat. This herb is called an emmenagogue, meaning that it helps things to move or flow. So the Indian women used to use this herb as a birth control before birth control came into existence. You see what I'm saying? Because it acts as what we call an emmenagogue. Mother's word, don't forget the plant. Mother's word help the things to flow because it acts as what we call an emmenagogue. Emmenagogue plants mean that it helps things to move. So if you're missing a period, you can use mother's word and the period will come because it acts as an emmenagogue, but it's also working your heart. This herb is also good for the thyroid gland if you have what we call an overactive thyroid, because it acts as what we call a thyroxine inhibitor. Yeah? Wonderful. Next one. Linden flower. Linden flower is very important because it works on the glands. So lots of people who have hypertension is getting it from the adrenal glands. When the adrenal is producing too much cortisol and adrenaline, automatically you have trouble in your heart long term, the heart palpitate. So if you are stressed out, we give you what we call adaptogens. So we give you a blend of the endocrine system over here to work on the endocrine glands. Once you work on the endocrine glands, if your pressure is coming from there, then you will fix your pressure if it's coming from the endocrine system, from the adrenals or from the thyroid gland. Yeah? So this herb called linden flower is very significant for people who have hypertension. Hot and leaf and flower. This herb right here, this one over here, this herb prevents plaque from forming on the walls of the arteries. Brothers and sisters, the berries, the flowers, leaf and flower. The leaf and the flower is more effective than the berries. Yeah? But this herb prevents plaque from forming on the walls of the arteries, but it also gives the heart a stronger contraction. And if you have what we call a heartbeat that's beating kind of fast, it slows up the heartbeat. If the heart beating too slow, it brings up the heartbeat. It acts as what we call an amphoteric. Hawthorn leaf and flower does that. Yeah? And it also drops your cholesterol naturally if it's high. The berries and the leaf and the flower work together. This herb called mistletoe. I want you all to look them up for me. Education. We're in school tonight now too. Mistletoe is a herb used in Europe for high blood pressure, but it is also used for people who have tumors. If you have a tumor in your breast, tumor in your brain, tumor in your belly, this herb works on shrinking tumors too. But it is wonderful for people who have high blood pressure because it calms the heart. Yarrow. Yarrow is an astringent plant, and because the heart is a muscle, we have to use plants that act in the astringent way. And if there is any kind of bleeding in the system, yarrow can stop the bleeding because it works well with shepherd's purse, witch hazel, and nettle and chickweed to stop bleeding, right? So it's a herb used for the heart, but we also use it when people have Crohn's disease, if they have ileitis, if they have diverticulitis, if they have IBS, if they have leaky gut syndrome, and all the conditions of the bowels that they say can't fix. Right? Wonderful. Nettle leaf is a food to the kidney. This herb have lots of iron. This herb have lots of magnesium. This herb have lots of calcium. This herb have lots of boron. It is very important for the kidney. It is what we call a food to the kidney. We call it stinging nettle. The leaf is a food to the kidney. The root is for the prostate gland. And the seed regenerates the kidney if it's damaged. See? So we use this plant if the person have high blood pressure, or they have what we call heart weakness or congestive heart failure, and they're retaining water. We give them this plant because it acts as what we call a potassium sparing diuretic because it has potassium. So it helps the kidney to remove the potassium, but it also, oh, God is great, man. God is great, man. Jehovah God is the greatest, man. He knows why he made this plant together. When you use this plant, it moves the excessive amount of potassium out of the kidney, but it also helps the kidney to retain some of the potassium in the plant. The body is so wise. God is great. Olive leaf extract, antiviral. We give it for viruses. This is good for herpes, good for HIV, good for cytomegalovirus, good for hepatitis, good for HTLV, human T-cell lymphoma virus. But it's good for the heart. It's a wonderful herb for the heart, olive leaf. See, but we don't use them because we know better. So I'm going to teach you how to use these plants. You're going to mix them all together. So, if you have heart weakness or you have congestive heart failure, these two herbs should be the main herb. Nettle leaf, hawthorn. Because hawthorn will give the heart a stronger contraction to pump the blood to the vessel walls. Huh? And while the heart is having a stronger contraction, your heart is now, the kidneys is working well. So the kidney have to be tonified. And while the kidney is being tonified, while the heart is getting a stronger contraction from this particular plant, this plant is now working on helping the kidney now to remove the excessive amount of... Oh, God. God is great, man. God is great, man. This herb here, huh? If you have a weak heart or you have high blood pressure, it lowers the pressure. If the pressure is high, it lowers it. If the pressure is low, it brings it back up. It acts as what we call amphoteric. But if you know now you have congestive heart failure, where the heart is not working good, it's so weak, we give you this one here. Tonify the heart. Give the heart a stronger contraction by tonifying the heart muscle. And once you have swelling of the feet now, you're retaining water that is now, then we add main herb together. And then once this herb is giving your heart a stronger contraction, then your heart will work well And now your kidney say, oh my goodness, the heart is working so good now. I can push the water out. So we give you nettle leaf and nettle start to push the water out for your kidney. Woo! And while it's pushing the water out, it is the food for the kidney because it's feeding your kidney boron, calcium, magnesium, potassium. If you don't have kidney failure, dig it. Huh? Wonderful. Now, if the heart is beating too fast, you want to calm the heart. Because the heart is palpitating for a long period of time. And it's coming from the thyroid gland. Woo! Hyperactive thyroid. Beating. You come and say, okay, you have high blood pressure from the thyroid. Your heart is beating too fast because of the thyroid gland. You're going to push in some mother's wort. Because mother's wort acts as what we call a thyroxine inhibitor. So mother's wort is what you call a supporting herb. He supports what these two main herbs is doing. Boom, 3 of them. My brother, God is great, man. And we have to put that herb in and say, oh, you get everything the right way. Huh? So he's got to calm the thyroid gland. And the thyroid gland can palpitate. But if you have more palpitation, we add another herb called bogleweed in here. If the adrenals is all messed up, you go to linden flower. So if you have palpitation and the heart is beating fast and it's coming from the endocrine system, because now the glands on top of the kidney is all messed up, cortex and medulla, they're all messed up now. We go to now calm the glands on top of the kidney, and in turn we allow that gland on top of your kidney to produce the cortisol, the adrenaline, and the other and the corticosteroids naturally in balance. So automatically your heart respond because they're working together in balance, man. Balance. See what I'm saying? You all can fix all your hypertension like I did. You all can fix it. You all can repair it, man. Or you can repair it, or you're lazy. Or you eat in the nighttime. Yeah? Come out the food in the nighttime and rest your organs. Yeah? Now, if there is no division of the cells in the heart muscle, and if the homocysteine level is very high, let me go to man. Huh? What you mean? Not F-O-L-I-C, F-O-L-A-T-E. Folate acid. This little guy right here is significant. You know why? Because when a woman go to a doctor and she do a pap smear and she have dysplasia, meaning the cells is changing or mutating, she can be lacking in folate acid because folate acid deals with cell division. So automatically, if you want to have high homocysteine levels and it's affecting your heart now and you're getting heart troubles or you're getting clots, air fibrillation, we give you folate acid, ginger, cayenne pepper, garlic, and hot and leaf and flour. AFib disappears. Air fibrillation gone. Dig it. Huh? With folate acid, cell division. If there is free radicals in the heart muscle, because lots of people have free radicals in the heart muscle because they eat so bad. Too much fried food affects your heart. Because your heart needs rich nutrient blood from the coronary artery. So we give you what? Selenium. Act as what we call a free radical scavenger. Scavenge the heart from all the scavengers, from all the pork you're eating every day. Give you a pork attack or a worm attack in your heart muscle. Yeah? If the heart is beating too fast and the left ventricle is weak, and you get what we call hypertrophy, inflammation of the heart muscle, where the heart is being enlarged. Once the heart is being enlarged, your heart will have to pump the blood to the vessel walls too quick and become more enlarged. If the top number is high, more than 180, it's putting your heart under pressure. We give you what? We give you magnesium. Magnesium, man. That's what it is, man. It is so simple for us to fix these things. But because people do not know better, you all don't have no knowledge of how the body functions. You all listen to people who don't have your all best interest at heart. Put you on a drug forever like me, they want to did to me too. Come off them drugs. Win yourself off these drugs. And you will see how your heart will respond to you. Yeah? Wonderful. Sir? CoQ10. Look it up. He is found in the heart muscle. If you don't have CoQ10 in the heart muscle, your pressure will rise high too. He's found there. But in order for him to work, this CoQ10 takes 3 months just to get into your heart muscle. 3 months. And you must start off with 100 milligrams per day. And every week, you're going to add another 100 milligrams till you get to 460 milligrams of this per day for 3 months. Because it takes at least 3 months to get into your heart muscle. Taurine is a jump start of the heart muscle. You're going to take 500 milligrams and half an hour before your meals. And you have a program, and it make your heart jump. It jump start your heart. Jump start your heart like a jumper. Like a jumper cable. Jump your heart have to move. You know what I mean? It's not lazy no more. Taurine, you know better because you all don't eat the foods that have these things. You're all eating dead foods. B6. Once you have a high level of homocysteine, you better start taking B6. Because when B6 metabolizes, it metabolizes homocysteine properly, it drops. You don't get clots, and you don't get troubles in your heart, you don't get heart disease, man. Yeah? So, I am putting a program together for you, for all the people that I help with high blood pressure, including myself, and my mother, and my sisters. I'm putting a program together for you all. And I can guarantee you, if you all follow my program properly, and you keep on checking your pressure every day, and you won't eat the way I ask you to eat, we're going to clean, we're going to do a heavy metal cleanse, we're going to take all the mercury out of the mouth, we're going to do a kidney cleanse, we're going to clean the liver, we're going to clean up the gallbladder, we're going to clean the intestines, and we're going to work on the adrenals and the endocrine system, and we're going to balance the whole body as one. And once you do that, then we're going to strengthen the arteries, we're going to strengthen the veins, we're going to strengthen the capillaries. And once you do that, they cannot collapse. And when you do that, you're going to check every day, and you're going to see the numbers going to drop. Blessed love, and give God the glory. All right? Ambrosia, 718-469-0985. Don't forget, Patrick Dells, holistichealing.com. Ben, wonderful brother. Give thanks, you know. We in New York still, right, brother? We are going to Ohio soon. We had some little setbacks, but you know, all the people who are ordering from Patrick Dells, holistichealing.com, I want to thank everybody for ordering. Lots of orders that went out, and I know that we've been slow because we had some trouble with Amazon. Amazon sent us the wrong bottles on 3 occasions, so we just got the right ones today. So we shipped out today again. We're going to ship out as much as we can. And we want to thank everybody for supporting, because when you support us, we can lift somebody else up in the black community. Don't forget that. Blessed love. Ambrosia, 718-469-0985. And Patrick Dells, Natural Healing of the Body, 6315-302-329. Give thanks and praises, and don't forget to love your neighbor as yourself, and give Jehovah God all the glory, because He is the ultimate healer of all things. Right, Bridget? Blessed love, man. Yes, I. Uncle, you just squeeze it down. Boy. Thanks. And the program, we're gonna have the program up by Wednesday on the site, and you all could go and download the program and follow that program for at least 45 days and check your pressure every day for us. Okay? Blessed love to everybody.